6:45 p.m. on the Friday evening. Have me a little bit of wine. So we got the ruling from the court today on the gun case in Effingham County. Judge Morrison issued the temporary restraining order on behalf of 866 named plaintiffs, 4 of them being gun dealers, 862 of them being citizens from 87 counties across the state. Now, we raised 4 arguments under Illinois constitutional principles of why this law is unconstitutional. I'll break them into 2 categories. Procedurally, they're not passing laws the way that they're supposed to pass them. And from a substantive matter, they violate equal protection because they're treating different people more favorably than the rest of the citizens. The judge agreed with us on every one of the 4 arguments that we made. Sometime shortly after, Ryan will have a copy of that order up on our website. You guys can go to our website and you can get a hold of it and read it. Now, as expected, the governor is going to ask for an appeal to the 5th Appellate Court of this temporary order. That's fine. We'll argue it as far as we got to argue it. You know, procedurally, the issue let me back up first. The whole Second Amendment issue and the right to bear arms and all of that, those are all still alive and well arguments, right? There is a question of whether or not this violates the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. I'm confident that it does. That's an argument that we will make. There's a couple of other gun groups that are going to make that as well. You know, the State Rifle Association filed theirs. It's a little thin, I'll say. That's fine. That's their business. There's a couple more gun groups that are going to file them, and they're going to be, I think, a little bit more thorough. Let's just say that. You know, we can do the same thing too. But we're not talking about Second Amendment violations in this lawsuit directly. We're talking about gun regulation and how that's an important right, but we're analyzing it as it relates to how they pass laws. So this law was in the General Assembly for 347 days. 347 days it existed in the General Assembly. And for 345 of those days, it was an innocuous 1-paragraph change to an insurance code provision. It says you got to give your email address as an insurance adjuster to people. Okay? That's what it said. And then 2 days before it actually got signed by the governor, on Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, President Harmon gutted and replaced that bill, ripped out the insurance codes, and turns it into an assault weapons ban. Semi-automatic rifles. Can't own them. Can't buy them. You can't do anything. Oh, and you can keep the ones if you had them when the law passed, but you got to register them and tell us where you're at, who you are. You know, being facetious now. Firstborn, give us a serial number and all of it. Then we'll let you keep it. That's kind of them. And in less than 48 hours, Governor Pritzker signs it. And I ask you, why do they want to play these procedural games in the Illinois General Assembly? They have a supermajority. They can pass any law they want. So quit hiding, playing cat and mouse, be big boys and girls, and pass them in the wide open for everybody to see. But they won't do that. They want to play their games. You know, they want to sneak around and throw it out there on you at the last minute, not giving anybody a chance to review it or respond or anything. And I am sick of that crap. So that's what we went and we're arguing about. And then, oh, guess what? We've got 7 categories of people that don't have to follow this law. And it's nothing against the categories of people they exempt. I have no problems with that. But if you're current or retired law enforcement, and again, retired, buy all you want, own all you want. 50 cal, buy all the 50 cal you want. If you're a prison guard, if you're a jailer in the county jail, if you're a warden of a prison, superintendent of a prison, if you're military, current military, not retired, you're retired, you're gone, you don't get them anymore. You know, some security guard people, stuff like that. You keep them, have all you want. And they tried to argue, oh, it's because of their training. since they have more training, they can have these weapons. And I'm laughing, going, what about all the other people that are well trained? I mean, no disrespect to a prison guard. I'm probably more well trained than they are. We actually have training tomorrow that I'm going to, because I'm a certified safety instructor that teaches children how to manage and hold a weapon and carry a weapon. We got training tomorrow that I'm going to. I guess that doesn't count. Why? Because our lobby wasn't powerful enough, I'm guessing, right? Our lobby wasn't as good as those that lobbied for these groups. So the judge had no use for that. He absolutely came down on him and said, this is violating equal protection. A citizen's right to bear arms is just as important as these persons in these professions' rights to bear arms. Just because they work in those professions doesn't give them special treatment. So the judge had no use for any of that, and he issued the restraining order today. So that restraining order, again, right now is a temporary order. It'll stay in place until a higher court says otherwise, or till this case comes to an end, where we'll ask for a permanent order. And it only applies to the 866 people in the case right now, today. It's absolutely true. So that means those 866 people, 4 of them being FFLs, can sell their inventory. They can sell it to the other 862 people in the case, or they can sell them to any person that's otherwise exempt from the law, right? That's what it said. And if they want to try to take an appeal, we'll go argue on the appeal and we'll deal with it. In the long run, we're looking to, my phone's beeping, guys, I apologize. In the long run, we're trying to get the whole law invalidated. Now, my phone has been blowing up for people going, oh, I want to join. Sorry, there is no more opportunity for that, okay? I mean, we left it open as long as we could. People that made the choice not to participate, that was their choice. I'm not going to file another case. I'm not going to start another state court case or any of that. It's just that barn door is shut, right? So it's just going to have to be what it is. We get to the end of this case in the state court, and hopefully it'll have statewide impact at that point in time. And that's ultimately the goal. But in the interim, it's not going to be that way. It's just not. So let me see if I got any questions, and I'll take a look. Somebody talking about the exempt FFLs. We have 4 FFLs that are exempt. We'll get that list up on the website. Vanessa makes a good point. I don't understand about the training. I thought this was about people going crazy and shooting places up. So trained people can't go nuts. That's a good point, Vanessa, because when you say you thought the law was about people going crazy, it's one of the things the judge pointed out in this case that I also pointed out is, remember the procedural games that they played where they, snuck it in and then hurry up and passed it? There's nothing in the record. When I say nothing in the record, I'm talking about in our General Assembly, in our legislature, that talks about why they passed this law. What purpose was it trying to serve? None of it's in there because of the little sneaky games they played. So was this law to try to limit these types of shootings? Now, keep in mind, when you're talking about the tragedy of Highland Park that happened last year in our state, for all of you that are my age or older or younger, think about how many other times have we had a tragedy like Highland Park with a semi-automatic rifle? I can't think of any. Most of the tragedy that happens in Chicago and Cook County happens with handguns. So, I don't even think whatever purpose they're trying to further doesn't further. Let's be clear. They just ignorantly think, oh, we got to ban the weapons of war. We got to ban the weapons of war. They're not weapons of war. An M16 is a weapon of war. The fully automatic rifle. These are semi-automatic. There's a huge difference. But so they blindly and ignorantly are trying to pass this legislation. They don't even know why they're passing it, other than it's going to make somebody happy that might vote for them. But the training, it doesn't even make any sense to say, oh, they're trained so they can buy them all. No disrespect to anybody in the exempt categories. But if you're a jailer, you work at a jail, in a county jail, and you watch people that are in jail, because of that profession, you can go buy all the 50 caliber weapons you want and all of the ammunition you want. But another citizen, let me give you this, a retired Navy SEAL can't go do that. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's just, when you got people that are ignorant running the show that are trying to engage in political patronage, you get this stupid nonsense. So, the judge very adamantly said our equal protection claim was legitimate. So let me see again. Woody, I mean, that's part of what we talked about. What about the single subject clause in the Illinois Constitution? How is a gun amendment germane to an insurance bill? That's one of the 4 arguments we argued, Woody. The single subject has been violated, and the judge agrees with us and says single subject has likely been violated. John Daniel, you're right. How can they say current military but can't retired when retired military can't? Again, that's just more of the ridiculousness of this. So, again, I use a retired Navy SEAL for an example. I think they know a thing or two about handling a weapon like this. A retired police officer. So, again, no disrespect to retired police officers. You can have all of them you want, but the retired Navy SEAL can't. It's stupid. But again, the training part is the issue. Training has nothing to do with what they're trying to accomplish here. Because if training is the issue, again, I'm not saying I would agree with a law that says you have to be trained in order to own this weapon. I would not agree with that law. But if training is really the issue, try to pass a law that says people have to be trained to have these weapons. Everybody. Again, at least there's not an equal protection problem with that. Sorry, Tony Craven, you're 20 years of serving our country. You don't have enough training in order to own one, according to JB Pritzker. So, go thank J Bob for that. He don't get me started on that guy. I had all of him I can take. You just have to have a copy of Ken. I think Ken just asked me. Ken, just get a copy of the order that we have. We'll have to get a certified copy. It has your name listed on it, et cetera, that you'll be able to provide. So, yeah, we'll get that taken care of, Ken. An FFL that is not a plaintiff, I'm not going to say what they can or can't do. I'm just saying an FFL that's not a plaintiff is not protected under this restraining order, Cheryl. So you can talk to them about what they might want to do or not do. So I've only got 4 FFLs that I represent. Any plaintiff in this case can buy a weapon from anybody that'll sell them one, right? You're not breaking the law by buying one of these weapons. So who will sell you one? Whatever dealer might choose to sell to you, Allison, that's up to them. I can't control what a dealer will do or won't do. All I can say is if you're one of the 862 people, if you go buy one, you're not breaking the law while this restraining order is in effect. My dear friend Connie Large, I'll tell you, I love your quilt. I sleep with it all the time in there in my chair when I'm watching TV. It was one of the greatest things that anybody's ever given me. And I've gotten a lot of nice things from people in the last few years. But thank you very much, Connie. That was beautiful. And if you have another one, I'll use it too. I promise you, dear. Judy, what are your thoughts on Pritzker opening a gun range? I think Pritzker is a hypocrite. I think he's I want to be careful just because I start saying things. I don't want to start cussing, but I think he's a hypocrite. I think he's an opportunist. I think he's just doing things to try to raise his profile because he's an egotistical guy that wants to be president because he was born a trust fund baby billionaire and trying to control and manipulate people is the only thing that excites him anymore because he can buy whatever he wants. That's what I think about his gun range up in Wisconsin. I think he's an evil individual that tries to control people, and that's the only thing that excites him in life at this point. That's what I think about him. I think that's about it, guys. Donna, none of this stuff is going to make anybody more safe. None of it is going to make anybody more safe. What Democrats won't do, they won't be honest with you. They won't be honest with you. Their goal is to take weapons away from everybody. That's what they want to do. They want to take AR-15s or semi-automatic rifles. They don't want anybody to own one. They can't come out and say that, or they can't put a law on the books that does that because it's 120% violative of the Second Amendment. That's what they want to accomplish. None of this stuff is about making people safe. These liberals don't think that way. They just don't think that way at all. So you can't rationalize sometimes when they do the things they're doing. You try to rationalize it, you'll go crazy because there is no reasoning. All right, I think that's about it. Ginger, my friend, dear friend Ginger, there won't be any consequences for the politicians, Ginger, because everybody elects these people. So you elect them, they do stupid crap. You unelect them. If you don't unelect them, they keep doing stupid crap. I love Lake County, George. You know, the politics of Lake County is changing, but there's a lot of good people in Lake County. It's just sadly too many people from Cook County are migrating out into Lake County, and it's changing the demographics of it some. But there's parts of Lake County that look just like where I'm from. Rose said, anybody from Clinton County? Yeah, Rose, there were a few from Clinton County. Like I said, there's 87 of the 102 counties were involved in this case. It was pretty good. It was only what, 87, so 14 counties. Is it? I've had too much drink. Yeah, 14, 15 counties maybe that didn't get in it. There, Ryan's got it up there, guys. The download. You can download the link. Jeff, when we win this lawsuit at the end, it will turn to having statewide implication once we get to the end of it. This order for 866 people, this temporary order, is because the case is just starting. But the ultimate goal at the end, Jeff, is for it to wipe it out statewide. Beth, I don't know. I'd have to look and see how many. If you go to Ryan should have the documents to this case out on the website for all of you to look at. And in the complaint, which is the main document, there's an Exhibit A. It's a public record. Exhibit A has the list of every named plaintiff in the case, and it's categorized by county. So you can see how many people from each county joined. It's public information. It has their first and last name and the county that they're from. It's Exhibit A to the complaint, and you can take a look at that. My website is www.devorlawoffices, so DEVORELAWOFFICES.com, devorlawoffices.com. You're right, Dan. The Attorney General of the state is not going to fight for people. If the Attorney General of this state would defend people the way that we're doing it right now, these things wouldn't happen. He would put an end to these types of games that are going on, but he won't. He got $1 million contribution from J.B. Pritzker for his campaign. Do you think he's ever going to stand up to J.B. Pritzker? He'd never do it. Is that it? Ronnie, I'm about to come take your wine away. No, you ain't, Ronnie. I'm going to drink it before you get here. Oh, I'm sober. This is my first glass of wine. Before I had wine, I had me a treat today, a bottle of root beer. I don't drink much soda and the sugar, but I had one of them as a treat. Mario says, what document, if any, do we need to purchase firearms? Just need a copy of the restraining order, and it shows that you're listed, and we'll get you all the documents that you need. Okay. If one of the 862 clients that we have on here wants to go buy something, you email Ryan, and we'll make sure you have the documents that you need, guys. Okay. No, Darren, I'm going to say no. FFLs that were not a part of this case, I don't know. I have to think about whether an FFL that's not a part of this case could sell to someone that's a part of this. I will give my clients that opinion without talking here, okay? So for you that are clients here or listening and asking that question, can an FFL that's not in the case sell to you? I'll send an email to you and give you my opinion on that. I don't want to talk about my advice that I give to you on here, okay? I saw one of the clients just ask that question. Yeah, Christy, there's something you can do. Don't elect him again. Yeah, you don't want the AG's not protecting you. What can you do? Don't elect him again. All right, I think that's about it, guys. Won't answer my Ronnie. You won't answer my question. Ronnie, type it again. The things are going so fast, I can't keep up with them. So type it again right now, Miss Quinn. I'm watching for it. Hurry up, Ronnie. I can't drink a few glasses, Danielle. I can't drink that much anymore. Ronnie, you'll need a copy of the TRO. Yes, you'll need to get a copy. I'll send you guys an email. You'll need a copy of that also that has your name. So I'll get that to you guys, Ronnie. All right. So I think that's about it, guys. I don't care if J Bob doesn't like me, Michael. I don't like the guy anyway. He's a bully. He's a tyrant. A little trust fund baby. Probably the one that got picked on in the schoolyard when he was a kid. I had no use for that guy. So I hope he runs for president. I'll follow him across the country and make his life miserable. I'll talk to you guys later. I've got a few interviews I got to do. I love you.